My dear student in Prep 1, let's have today the parallelogram and its special case. Last session we studied the parallelogram. The parallelogram is a quadrilateral which has each two opposite sides are parallel, and it has four properties. Number one, each two opposite sides are equal in length. Each two opposite angles are equal in measure. Number three, each two consecutive angles are the sum of its measure equal 180 and the diagonals bisect each other. Today we will study its special cases. First case, we have a rectangle. A rectangle is a parallelogram, but it has a right angle, and the diagonals of the rectangle are equal in length. Second case, we have a rhombus. A rhombus is a parallelogram, but all the four sides are equal in length, and the two adjacent sides are equal in length. The two diagonals are perpendicular. And the last case, we have the square. The square is a rhombus, but it has a right angle. Or the square is a rectangle, but it has four equal sides. And the square is a parallelogram, but it has a right angle and the two adjacent sides are equal in length. So all property existing parallelogram and rectangle and rhombus are in the square. The diagonals bisect each other and they are equal in length and perpendicular, and also bisect the opposite vertices. Special cases of the parallelogram. Number one, a rectangle. It's a parallelogram with a right angle. Rhombus, it's a parallelogram in which two adjacent sides are equal in length. Number three, square. It's a parallelogram with a right angle and two adjacent sides are equal in length. The rectangle, rhombus, and the square, they all have the same properties of the parallelogram. In addition to, in a rectangle, each two opposite sides are equal in length, and the four angles are all equal in measure, and the measure of each is 90 degrees. The diagonals are equal in length and not perpendicular to each other, and bisecting each other. In a rhombus, all sides are equal in length. Each two opposite angles are equal in measure. The two diagonals not equal in length, but they are perpendicular to each other, and they are bisecting each other, and bisect each of its interior angles. Last one, the square. All sides are equal in length. The four angles are all equal in measure and the measure of each is 90 degrees. The two diagonals are equal in length and perpendicular to each other, bisecting each other, and bisect each of its interior angles also, like a rhombus. Here we have some very important notes. All sides are equal in length in each of square and rhombus. Angles are right in each of square and rectangle. Diagonals are equal in length in each of square and rectangle. Diagonals are perpendicular in each of square and rhombus. Diagonals bisect each other in all our cases. Parallelogram and its special cases, rectangle, rhombus, and square. The opposite angles are equal in measure in the four shapes: parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, and square. The sum of measure of the two consecutive angles is 180 degrees in parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, and square. And now let's have some exercises complete. Letter A, the rectangle is a parallelogram, but it has a right angle. Yes. Number B, the rhombus whose one of its angle is right is called. If you have a rhombus and one of its angle will be right, so the rhombus will be a square. Letter C, the rhombus is a square if are equal in length. The rhombus will be square if its diagonals are equal in length. We all know that rhombus and square have all sides equal in length. So here you must say that the diagonals are equal in length. Letter D, if one of the angles of a parallelogram is right, then it will be called, yes, a rectangle. If one of the angle of the parallelogram is right, till now it will be a rectangle. And two of its adjacent sides are equal in length, we have another property here. So you have now a rectangle and two of its adjacent sides are equal in length, so you have another property, so the rectangle will be a square. Letter F, the four sides are equal in length in each of. We have two shapes here, has four sides equal in length. We have a square and a rhombus. Letter G, the two diagonals are equal in length in each of. Equal in length, the diagonal equal in a square and a rectangle. Letter H, the two diagonals are perpendicular in each of a square and a rhombus. Letter I, the four angles are right in each of a rectangle and a square. Letter J, the opposite angles are equal in measure in each of. Here we have all shapes: parallelogram, square, rhombus, rectangle. Letter K, the two diagonals bisect each other in each of, also in all shapes: parallelogram, square, rhombus, and rectangle. And now complete. The rectangle is a parallelogram in which he wants here the definition of a rectangle. A rectangle is a parallelogram and in which has one right angle. Letter B, the two diagonals are equal in length in each of rectangle and square. ABCD is a parallelogram. If measure of angle A equals 60, then measure of angle B. Here we have two kinds of angles. We have two opposite angles and we have two consecutive angles. The opposite angles equal in measure, but the consecutive angles are supplementary. And remember, supplementary means the measure equal, the sum of its measure equal 180. So to find the measure of angle B, 180 minus 60 equal 120. The rectangle is a if its two dimensions are equal. And here dimensions means length and width. If the length equals the width, then the rectangle will be a square. Letter E, a parallelogram is a if two adjacent sides are equal in length. Two adjacent sides, so it will be a rhombus. Or it's are perpendicular. The rhombus has two diagonals but perpendicular. Letter F, the sum of measures of two consecutive angles equal 180 in each of the four shapes: parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, and square. Letter G, the square is a parallelogram which, here we have a long definition. The square is a parallelogram in which has one right angle and two equal adjacent sides. Letter H, the rhombus is a parallelogram which has two equal adjacent sides. Letter J, the rectangle is a parallelogram which has one right angle. Let's have from your school book another example. In the figure opposite we have ABCD is a square. E belongs to BC and AC parallel to DE. Number 1, prove that ACEB is a parallelogram. Number 2, find measure of angle ACE. First, if you have ABCD is a square, it means that AD parallel to CB. Since E belongs to BC, therefore AD parallel to EC and AC parallel to ED. So ACED is a parallelogram. Since ABCD is a square, therefore AC, the diagonal, bisect the angle DCB. So, measure of angle DCB equal 90. And the diagonal bisect this angle, so measure of angle ACD equal 90 divided 2 equal 45. But here we want to find measure of angle ACE. Angle ACE consists from two angles, ACD and DCE. So, measure of angle ACE equal 45 plus 90 equal 135. Thank you, Prep 1 and